As the protectors of the pass bedded down for the night, Hethel Beckhoff snuck away from their camp, determined not to return to Bresk. The next day found the protectors arriving at the walled city of Bresk, gaining entry via Balin's diplomatic paperwork. After dropping their things off at the Golden Griffin Inn, the party dispersed to prepare for their meeting with the king the next day. The party learned that Rayland looks like Lady Den's proxy, Mr. Royal. Rayland went to privately meet with Mr. Royal, whom he called Rex. Mr. Royal said that he would help Rayland, but only if Rayland could give him the name and also debase himself and grovel. Obviously, Rayland turned him down and stormed out of the meeting. The protectors also learned that Steppengard hasn't held court in some time, but would again in 2 days. They heard that Nina Glibglammer remained King Steppengard's advisor and was highly respected and well established. However, she was being very hostile as of late. Whether by Nina's advice or not, the king met with Princess Shalosha and turned down her offer. This seems strange considering the king agreed to terms with Regesia. The party discovered that the northern kingdoms of Dassen looked fondly upon Sequin, making them possible allies in the Protector's mission. Rumor has it that the hearts of the king's children were removed, either cleanly or with surgical precision. Was removed either cleanly with surgical precision or brutally with monstrous claws. No one knows for sure. Intending to meet with the only ally they likely would have, the protectors unfortunately found that Ginnis Bremen, father of Lyceum student Janir and proxy to Lord Gallo, had been arrested for suspected treason. No more information can be discovered about what led to his arrest, but the party did learn that Lord Dashkaban was displeased with the arrest, as it led to increased tensions and a step closer to war. Concerning Lord Dashkaban, it was his proxy, Aramak Dashkaban, who notified Steppengard of the Regessian ambassador on the night of the assassinations. He had sent a note to Steppengard, stating Lord Dashkaban's displeasure, which caused him to leave the table, therefore avoiding the poisoned food. The Talons, whom the party had met on their way to Bresk, were only recently established as a police force whose task was to deal with intelligence and arrests regarding the assassinations. Finally, the party became aware that the next in line of succession listed in the Book of Eight Lands was none other than Lord Megadon, potentially making him a prime suspect in the assassinations. Also potentially a suspect was Lady Naman, who was known to desire marriage with the king. Recollecting at the Golden Griffin, the party shared their collective knowledge and planned their next moves.
It was actually super helpful. That was really helpful, Rob. I really enjoyed that.
I appreciate it.
It's a good, bullet point summary of all the various things, which that's what this last session kind of felt like, too, to be fair.
Yeah.
Very much
I needed it after, a month off, so...
Worked well. Well, with that, you guys have the evening. I know you guys talked a little bit over the past few weeks in chat about suspicions and ideas, so is there anything else that you would like to discuss before bedtime together?
Bedtime together?
You heard me. This is enforced.
Enforced bed?
Where are we staying?
It felt like it.
Where are we staying again?
The Golden Griffin.
The high-end place.
It's a high-end
nice place.
Yep.
Where I couldn't play darts.
Yeah,
your kind.
Had to
Golden darts.
Your kind both was and wasn't welcome. Because everyone thought you were Mr. Royal.
Speaking of that, I want to talk to Rayland.
Okay.
Are
Go for
you
it.
gonna wear the hat tomorrow?
Do you have something in mind?
You could just change yourself just a little bit.
Maybe different colored hair? and a really, really, really big beard. Or make yourself just a tiny bit taller. Or shorter.
Okay. Well, you know disguises pretty well. And, yeah, I'll wear the hat tomorrow for the meeting. Just to
Okay.
keep
Glad to hear it.
Steph and guard from asking any awkward questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to doing whatever I was doing before she came and interrupted me.
Anything else, people?
So rudely.
You were
Because I
probably
haven't-
sleeping in your room.
Yeah, probably sleeping. I was
Hey,
like,
Rayland.
Because I haven't
Took a-
re-listened to the last episode in probably 2 weeks. Remind me, were we told by Winry that Rayland and Royal look like each other? I forget.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I
I've
think
been
so.
told by multiple people that we look like
Yeah.
So I was pretty sure, but I just wanted to verify so we didn't like turn up in court and be like, oh, shock and awe.
And also, all that stuff that I said about what Royal said was, we didn't hear that. That was just between the two of them.
So?
I don't have anything.
All set?
I think so.
Perfect timing, because Chloe decided she needed to ask us what we're doing. But in the morning, then, after a nice long rest for you guys once more in your suite in the Golden Griffin, I'll remind everyone you each have like your own separate rooms, so you don't have to worry about this whole sleeping together thing that apparently jogged everybody into hysterics there just a minute ago.
Yeah, PTSD. They brought us back to the fire forest or something. I don't know.
Right. But yeah, each of you gets your own sleep, gets your own rest time, and in the morning, Rayland collects you all and says, "Well, we best be off. It's time for us to wait our turn for an audience. Are you ready?"
As ready as we can be.
Exactly what I was going to say.
That. Those extra
Yep.
4 hours I had this morning, I was working at like, nobody saw me in my room, but I was like working away at some of like the stains and like dirt spots on my clothes.
Trying to look presentable.
Yeah, begrudgingly.
And you guys definitely would have heard me like walking around the main room, like trying different
Pacing.
angles of my speech, like some where I'm like yelling and angry and like trying to take an aggressive stance, and then some where I'm like really nice and like.
And you probably heard Rayland from Rayland's room.
Shut up.
Me.
Do our rooms have balconies?
Why balconies? Oh yeah,
Individually.
I now picture that Rayland actually has always had like a bag of holding in his pocket, and in there he's got like his pillow and his teddy bear, and just every night he just cuddles up. Like the only time he allows himself to be nice.
So not individually, Bryn, but there is a balcony off the main room that you could have spent some time out on if you'd like to.
Yes, that's what I would have done before heading off to bed.
Yeah, I think
you know
that
what?
I mentioned
I
it
imagine
last
she went to
time.
bed before Rayland.
Go for it.
I'm sure she went to bed before Rayland, because Rayland was probably drinking downstairs or something. Whatever the cheapest alcohol they had there, which I'm sure was like, 5 gold Stella Artois, you know? But
Fucking Stella.
That's the go-to for highbrow snobbish wine or drink.
Well, it's just this is from real experience where like I remember going to a really, really nice bar in Midtown, and they had like a $20, and it was Stella. I was like, I just want the cheapest drink, and it was $20, and it was Stella Artois, and I still will never forget it. I'm still angry about it, but that's the kind of joint this is.
I did bring a bottle of whiskey up if you wanted to drink with me in the common room.
Yeah, that sounds actually even better. So we're gonna be drinking in the common room.
Yeah.
You have your own whiskey? Like you just?
I bought a bottle downstairs. Yeah.
Where, this is pretty good. Where'd you snag this from?
The counter downstairs?
Oh.
Only like
Did you
five
pay
gold.
for it?
Yes, of course
Wow.
I did.
Very generous. I'll take a big swig.
Alright, calm down there. We need to be our best selves in the morning.
I'm always my best self.
Oh, that terrifies
another
me.
drink.
While you guys are having that conversation, I'm like trying a different angle of my speech, and I
Pacing.
just kind of like, oh, it's not working. Ooh, I'll have some.
Oh dear.
It's tempting me.
And I take
Have
the
some.
tiniest pull, and I'm like, it's
I'm
good.
just like bracing myself to hear him just hacking for the next minute, but when he doesn't.
I do hack a little, but I keep my mouth closed, so it's like,
The really annoying cough, okay.
yeah, like I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Yep, pass the bottle around.
That's about the time that I'm sure that at some point Bryn goes out to the balcony.
Goes out or comes back in?
I'm not gonna interrupt her. I'm just gonna, excuse me. I'll take like another shot and just like go just see what she's doing on the balcony.
Well, Bryn, you wanna
What is
describe
Bryn
what you're
doing up?
Okay, it was all breaking up. Can you set it up where I listened for years?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what the heck.
We need to get Stephanie a new phone. That's what. Hang on.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, team.
You can go ahead and take that one out of your ear. Can
All
actually
right.
close.
Will you get off my case, please? All
At
right.
least your battery will definitely last now.
So you head outside, and Rayland kind of trails behind a little bit, and not interrupting, but says, "So, what you see
I'll
out
keep
there?"
I'll keep the glass of whiskey in my hand. I'll just be like, maybe just lean up against a wall, you know. Try and stay somewhat hidden, but I'm not like trying to be sneaky.
So are you asking her then, or are you just watching her?
Oh, I'm just watching. I'm stalking right now. I'm creeping.
Okay. So Bryn, you look
You wanna
up
do a
into the
stealth
sky.
roll?
Sure, go for
Dude,
it. Make a
should I
stealth
do
roll
a-
against your passive
Yeah.
perception.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Which is good. It's 16.
So stealth roll?
Yep.
26.
All right. I don't know.
So Bryn, you make it outside onto the balcony, and the first thing that I'll say is this isn't the best place for stargazing, of course. You're in the middle of a city, a relatively big city, and so there's a fair amount of light pollution that goes on because of that. So most of the stars are relatively hidden. The rest of the night is fairly clear, despite being quite cold. You're able to see a little bit of stars, but only really the brightest ones that kind of peek their way through. But even they look like they're almost hiding from you. The other thing that you notice, the more obvious part of what you notice, is the moons, of course, because the moons are very prevalent and very obvious. You note that the blue moon, the moon that's more associated with cool and calm and rational, is waning. And you note that the red moon, which is more associated with fiery and aggression and this sort of thing, as you know the colors tend to be, the red moon is near full. It is waxing almost to full. You can't tell if this is meaningful or not, but that is the current moon state for you as you step outside to watch.
It's a little disconcerting and concerning.
You got it.
And still trying to just find as much as I can any signs of the stars that guide our path, picking out one or two of us that I normally see in the stars. And just
I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
oh, and just spending time enjoying the evening.
You actually have a very hard time finding any of those stars. It almost seems, like I said, like the stars themselves are hiding from you or have left.
I'm gonna touch my forearm where the moon tattoo is and kind of drag it partially so that the moon kind of lights up a little bit, which really just means I have night vision, right? That's what was the rule again? I forgot. Night vision.
Dark
We had some
vision.
fun
Dark
with that, but yeah, dark vision.
Yeah. So the moon is active right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and walk out there, stumble out there. I mean, more like stumble because I'm drunk, and I might even like stub my toe on like the little lip where the balcony meets the building, and like splash, the drink splashes around.
Can I do an insight to see if he's actually drunk?
Absolutely.
I also don't know how this guy falling over himself
Rolled
was
a
able to roll a
26
26 stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't realize he was that drunk.
Disadvantage.
It's like you were leaning against a wall, holding in a fart really hard or something.
Hold on, sorry.
Why are you rolling so much?
I was picking my dice.
Justin, she's rolled like 14 times for this.
I was picking my dice.
She went with one eventually, but I'm guessing it's pretty high.
17.
I mean,
You want me to answer?
Yeah, I'm not going to answer
I
for
mean,
you.
I'm actually, yeah, he's drunk. Like, he's been drinking. He smells like it. He probably smells awful.
So I'll just motherly take the drink and take a swig of it to take the majority left and give him back the dregs.
what kind of mother are you?
I drink it so he doesn't have to.
Like an ant.
Yeah.
What kind of mother I want?
Like the coolest mom ever.
Oh, well.
I haven't
Yeah.
drank anything. Just make me go to
I'm
sleep.
not, I'm just... okay. Hey, what are you looking for? Up
Just
in the
looking
sky?
to see what the moons and stars how they might guide us in the days to come. I explain what you did, that the blue moon typically is more calming and relaxing, and that one's kind of on its way out right now, and see how the red moon is fuller and brighter and coming to its zenith. That one's more aggressive and fiery, and just makes me worried for the state of the city and how this meeting might go. Also, the stars usually not guide me directly, but they give me maybe somewhat of an inkling of what might happen, and I can't see any. So, makes me a little bit nervous, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I don't know. This red moon sounds like my kind of moon. Maybe we'll be all right.
True, but you like to fight too, and not talk. Then that might not be the best course of action right now.
I don't know. Typically works out. Fighting,
So
I
far.
mean.
We're not dead yet.
Yeah. And, let's keep it that way.
I agree.
And, my glass is empty. So,
So it's time for bed.
I hope you... Yeah, good night. And I'll walk back in and,
And the first thing that you see is I've gotten Myetharia and Winry's attention, and we're all sitting on the couches, like watching this unfold. At least Winry and I can't say about Myetharia, but
I will stand watching. Yeah.
I'll ignore it and I'll get some whiskey.
That's your last cup, just so you know. I'm not drinking all of my expensive whiskey.
I noticed that too. She's like, I brought a bottle up for Rayland's like, no, you didn't.
I brought it for
Bye
myself.
now.
To be fair, she does this a lot. You guys just don't notice it.
Gosh.
For the, I thought this was for the protectors of the past. This is a protectors of the
it's
past
tonight.
model.
Tonight it is. Yes.
Group
Yes,
whiskey.
absolutely. Celebrate our hard work today.
I drank a lot of it as well.
Oh yeah? I'll fill up another glass and toss it his way.
Is it yummy, Jack?
Had enough, I think. It will cause me to not trans well later. Thank you, though. I'll hand it to Winry. You should have some.
I'll give it a sniff. It
Like a kitty
doesn't
cat?
smell very fruity.
It isn't. You're very astute.
I was like, fire.
I think it's
Is
delicious.
she gonna drink it? Does she drink it?
Yep. And then does that like hacking cat?
Getting that hairball up.
All right. I think that's enough for tonight.
I'll laugh. I'm gonna laugh. I'm actually laughing. Ah.
That was funny, wasn't it, Rayland?
Whoa.
Rayland, I think you need more of this.
Oh,
Oh, he's
Winry.
actually funny. It was funny. He doesn't mean it. I don't think he. Well, maybe he does mean it in a mean way. He's mean. He can be mean.
Oh, she did not think of it in a mean way. She thought that you thought she was hilarious. So.
Perfect. Worked out for everybody.
Let's yeah. We'll go to bed now.
Okay. Rayland, make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
Constitution saving throw. Let's see.
Please.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
That bad, huh? Oh, it is that bad.
It is that bad.
Alright.
Ooh.
Rayland, you are hungover the next morning, and as such, you will have
Afternoon.
disadvantage on almost all your skills, like everything mental, basically, for the day.
Everything we need.
Excuse me.
We'll say that you can burn it off by a little afternoon, but for the first part of the day, you got a pretty good hangover raging.
I'll get him some greasy breakfast.
I want to say that during Myetharia always does her trance first. No, you always watch first and I trance first, and then we switch. So during my watch, while I'm switching time between practicing my speech and also I want to start carefully sewing the bag of holding into my cloak like we talked about.
Okay.
Really, I'm going really slow because I want to do a good job of it, but slowly getting it on there.
Sure, that's fine.
That's
Well, the morning comes, and Balin takes you all, gathers you together, and ushers you towards the castle. You wait for quite a while in a grand hall there, kind of like a meeting area, and there's a bunch of other people who are there too. Not just meaningful people, but also citizens, various things like this. People who are there for petitioning or for audiences, this sort of thing. Not just other diplomats. And you stay there for a few hours, actually. And it is just a little bit before noon by the time that you are ushered into an audience chamber.
As
Are the
we're
chairs-
ushered in, among the hubbub of people walking, and once I have line of sight, well, hold up a minute.
Oh, that's right. Rayland, are you actually going to use the Hat of Disguise?
Yeah, I'll have the hat of disguise with me.
You'll have it
I'll
with
put it
you
on.
or have it used?
No, I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it on before we go. And
Okay.
Does the hat? Can I change the hat into a certain type of hat, or is it just what type of hat is it? Again, I forgot.
With your disguise cast,
It's a
yes.
fedora.
She had an actual image of it. It was jaunty and ridiculous.
With a feather.
Yeah, with a feather.
So when
Alright,
it is not changed, that's what it looks like. But it can be changed into anything or nothing with the casting of the spell within.
Okay, so I try to use the hat and imagine what I want to look like. And I'm so hungover that when I change, I have a neck beard and I'm skinny and gaunt. And
Boy.
I look as terrible as I feel. So just I try my best to look robust and but I'm you're probably like I'm scrawny and like a neck beard, and I have those like dark circles under my eyes, and my hair is typically straight with a mullet, but now it's like curly, very like I don't know why curly. That's like not but like it's like I don't know how to describe it, but he's
Frizzy?
Yeah. And let me see how else can I describe him to look?
I just realized that if I took down my hair, it would probably describe how you want your hair to be.
No, because your hair is full. Your hair is full and like luscious.
Oh, like greasy?
I'm talking about like greasy and thin.
Okay.
Like remember how Snape was described in the books?
Yeah.
Like that's how it like, but not like in the movie. He Alan Rickman looked great,
Luscious.
but like. Yeah, so that's how he looks
diving
right
into
now.
a hole here.
Well, as you start getting closer, then up to some of the guard checkpoints on your way into one of the great halls, actually, you feel this cool, icy feeling wash over you, Rayland, and your appearance reverts.
I was wondering if that would happen.
As you're getting to one of these checkpoints, and so as you walk up, the guards kind of look at you and are like, "What's with the disguise?"
Well,
He was just trying on this fancy hat that I gave him. I found it somewhere.
He is wearing that nice fedora on top of his head afterwards.
I slowly take it off, tuck it under my arm.
See that you keep it that way. We'll have no deception within these halls.
I got really drunk last night, so
He gives you a smile, a knowing smile. Says, "All right, keep it that way."
drunk.
As soon as I noticed,
Yeah, both.
Why I laughed. That's why I laughed.
Drunk and undisguised.
Got really drunk, but that way.
as soon as I noticed that disguise drop, I'm like, "Oh no! Oh no! I was gonna do enhance ability on myself. Oh no! You were gonna do detect magic. You were gonna do detect magic."
What I'll try.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Oh.
So
That's not
what
bad.
I'll try then is what I was gonna say in the main chamber as everybody's sort of like filing in. Can we get like a front row seat? Is there a within 30 feet of the king's seat?
Let me see how big
my
that room
gosh.
is, just out of curiosity.
Hang on. Come on.
What's wrong with him?
He's letting the dog out because he's being a drama queen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'll probably be within 30 feet, give or take.
So still everybody moving around, getting placed. I want to try and cast detect magic.
So I need to read it just to make sure of exactly what I'm supposed to say. I should have looked that up beforehand, but I'm pretty sure I know what to say.
So instead of doing enhance
so-
ability, oh sorry,
Just wait.
I'm sorry. I
You're
didn't
fine.
know jumping in.
So you're moving around a little bit as you're starting to file into this room, and Bryn takes the moment to cast this detect magic spell. And Bryn, you can tell, first of all, you can see all the magic items around you from your party and everything like this. There's a couple of items here and there on various people. Not a ton, but every now and then you notice a few things, like a sword that has some magical ability that someone's wearing at their hip, things like this. You also notice that this halfling woman who's standing up near the throne does have a magical aura around her, but I'll get to why here in just a moment. As you've kind of jumped the gun on me on what's going on.
I wanted it in case I had to do a sleight of hand. I wanted that potential
you're fine.
advantage.
Well, there's stuff going on where as soon as you get there. Yes, Becca, she probably would see them, but not explicitly.
Okay.
To just be able to see a glow in that area.
So before we go in, though,
With your boobies.
before we go in, what?
Wow.
He just said in that area, so I turned it vulgar.
Enhance ability for real.
Yeah, so like I was going to cast enhance ability on myself, but do I see you doing this? Did you roll like for sleight of hand or anything?
Nope.
So I see you
Didn't
doing
have her.
it, and it seems to work. So I'll.
We don't know that, but sure. Nobody freaks out at least.
Oh, you're right. So do I see her doing it or no? What are the components of the spell?
Verbal somatic. So it does have a hand motion.
Okay. So I see you doing it.
Nothing fizzles.
Yeah.
Oh. I'll take my wand out and I will point it at myself and I'll cast Enhance Ability on myself.
Okay.
And do, obviously, the Charisma one. Eagle Splendor.
Got it.
And then as soon as I do it, I want to start doing I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find it. The tongue twister that Jonesy and Riley do.
The tip of the tongue.
The tip of the tongue is the something.
The teeth, the lips.
Yeah, the tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips. I do that a bunch of times to like warm up. Letterkenny reference.
Yep.
We just started watching again.
So as you are ushered into this audience chamber, this throne room, it's wide with high ceilings, walls studded with small shaded windows, and a single skylight above the throne itself, illuminating it and the space just before it in a pale amber light. There's a crowd of dozens of people, proxies for nobles, their assistants, ambassadors, and servants that all linger in the shadows on the outside watching the spectacle. As you are introduced or brought in, you're directed to the right side of the room, and you're positioned right near, actually, the entourage of Lady Namin, as it turns out. The only noblewoman who's personally in attendance, and she is dressed in all black, all mourning black, which contrasts very sharply with her platinum-colored hair. Everyone else, as previously mentioned, is represented by proxies. A pair of lavish thrones sit on the dais, the left one emptied and covered with a black shroud.
Oh.
In the other sits an aging, but still vital-looking King Steppengard. His brown beard is unkempt, his clothes are wrinkled, and his crown is somewhat askew. It looks like he hasn't slept well in days. I actually have a nice little picture, if I can remember to sneak it out for you. For everybody to see.
And I'm sorry, it's Lady Namin, right?
Namin.
Lady Namin, yeah.
Namin.
Got the bottom of the word on accident. Whatever. In front of him is a slim man in manacles, being harangued by a halfling woman with curly hair that seems to shift from black to purple as she moves. She holds a book in her hand and she stalks around the man in a circle, her voice shrill. She leans in close to the man and says, "You realize the king is offering you a chance to recant. Confess, admit your role in this tragedy, and ask for his mercy. You do realize, don't you? It's no secret that Gallo has..." The man interrupts her. "Duke Gallo, his family has defended our nation since its birth. You should pay him the respect he has earned." "Gallo," the woman says, "he has the most to gain if the king were killed. This was clearly an attempt to frame Regressia." She gestures to the audience, gathered in the darkened edges of the room, to a space opposite where you stand, and you spot a man dressed in rich red Regressian clothes, marked with symbols of a torch. He's guarded by an inquisitor in a heavy cloak, the white of his bear skull mask darkened by etched runes. "The Regressians, who have offered to protect us in this time of war? But no, Gallo is too arrogant to accept that. Gallo must have his war. Is it not true?" The man starts to reply, but he stammers, looking almost confused. The woman laughs. "Your lies have begun to confuse even you, poor man. Please, answer my questions. Explain to us how Duke Gallo was involved in this terrible, tragic, tyrannical attempt to break the back of our mighty kingdom." As you probably can guess at this point, the halfling before you is Nina Glibglammer, the king's advisor, and head of the newly commissioned police force called the Talon.
She's the leader?
She is the head of it. Yes.
Oh.
As you kind of start trying to pick up what's going on, it becomes clear that the man in manacles, his name is Relder, Relder, is the clerk to Lord Gallo's proxy, who's currently in jail. As
What
you
was
will
this guy's
know,
name? I'm sorry.
Relder.
Relder.
As you know, Lord Gallo himself is not in Bresk. The questioning continues like this for several minutes, as Glibglammer closely questions Relder about where he was on the evening King Steppengard's family was killed, who Proxygenist saw over the previous week, how Gallo was involved in the poisoning. The man seems confused often, and as you start to piece things together, it seems like he's almost struggling to tell two different stories. One that paints him and Gallo's associates as innocent, whereas the other is a fervent tale about poison and meetings late at night. People in the audience nearby you mutter that it looks like the clerk is being mind-controlled, though they're uncertain who's responsible or what's going on. There's some who are stating that Nina is responsible, she's doing something to him, and then there's others who are saying she's trying to break an enchantment, she's trying to get rid of something. And just then, Nina breaks off her questioning, shakes her head, and turns to the throne, addressing the king. Says, "I'm convinced, Your Majesty. This man has been charmed, and his memories have been altered." Finally, King Steppengard moves, straightening in his chair, looking somewhat ghoulish in the overhead light. "Nina, thank you for your service. It worries me that someone could be using such sorcery in the seat of my nation's rule. Though I wish for nothing other than to execute this man for his part in it." He draws a breath. "My family's murder. I must serve justice. Take him back to the prison. Until such time as other evidence comes to light, I cannot pass sentence on him." 3 guards come up and drag the manacled man away, and the gnome woman steps to stand before the king, just beside his throne. "I tire of trials," King Steppengard says as he waves his hand wearily. "I will take audiences now."
She's a halfling, right?
Oops, yep, I said it before. She was a gnome in the story previously.
Right.
Sorry.
Just
So every now and then gnome slips through and I forget to change it. The window blinds are raised,
This was
and the
so much information.
and the room brightens comfortably, and the heroes can see all of who are gathered around the entire room. As I said before, proxies for all nobles are in attendance, except for Lady Namin, of course, who is here in person, and Lord Gallows, who is currently arrested. There is also, like I'd mentioned, the Regessian ambassador and inquisitor. They're 2 separate people who are kind of on the opposite side of the room from you.
What was her aura? Or not appropriate yet.
What do you mean? What was she casting, or what? She had something that she was doing. She was concentrating on. It was an effect that was ongoing.
Okay.
What specifically it was, I can look into what the spell school was if you give me just a minute.
Yeah, and then pause for just a second. The dog's throwing a tantrum.
Perfect.
Aw. Is anyone looking at Rayland weirdly?
Not yet, because the room was very dark. It was an aura of enchantment.
Enchantment.
Yep.
I'll lean over to Jack and say that she was doing some enchantment.
Got a stage
Even
whisper.
as the man is, yeah, we heard it. Even as the man's being taken away, like right when she turned around, the aura stopped. It's not ongoing anymore. It ended as soon as her questioning ended.
Is there any auras at all around King Steppengard?
There's some things around him. Trying to read.
Just seems like weapons or something.
Yeah, there is an aura around him. In fact, there's multiple. There's also an aura that's technically around Lady Namin currently. Though you would you would know that the book itself would cause an aura to appear around them. The School of Magic would be more difficult for me to ascertain, but I could make something up for you if you really wanted me to.
No.
We get it.
And as Stepping Guard takes his seat once more, your group is called first.
Oh, shit.
And says, you kind of get brought or gestured to the center and says, well, our first audience today will be from Sequin. And I believe that you can speak for yourself as much as you'd like. As you start coming up to speak, the gathered crowd kind of whispers excitedly. You can also feel a very heavy gaze from the Regessian Inquisitor on your backs as you step forward. Myetharia, as you kind of glance around the room briefly, you can see a little look of surprise from Lady Naman as you step forward with the rest of the group.
Just give her a slight nod.
And at that, Balin gestures towards Jack and says, it is you to lead if you'd like.
So I think I missed it. There's the king sitting in a throne in front of us, like close, like within 30 feet?
Yes.
Okay. And then Nina's here, Inquisitor's here. Is there a group, like are all the proxies here and listening?
Yes.
Okay.
So think of it this way. The throne is at kind of the back of the room, just a little bit off the wall, basically. Nina's standing next to the throne, and then there's the empty one on the other side. All of the proxies, including Lady Naman and the Regessian ambassadors, are kind of lining the walls, like they ring around almost to the door, kind of like a gallery sort of feel. And then you step forward almost into the middle, kind of opposite the throne in the room.
Gotcha. Okay. I just wanted, based on the picture, I couldn't tell if it was just him in the room or if there was more people. So, okay. Well, to start with, I'll step forward and then bow deeply. And then I'll begin speaking to the king.
I will bow as well.
What'd you say?
She's going to bow as well.
Good. I'm sure Rayland will too.
If everyone else is, why not?
I will.
I'll try my best very slowly to bow.
Not
So Jack goes first, then Winry, then
no
Bryn.
sudden movements.
If it's
We're
the
all
proper
doing it
thing
at different times.
If it's the proper thing to do, then
yes.
Perfect. It's very disorganized, but genuine attempt at a group bow.
Yeah, well played, everybody. We should have practiced that. Very warm greetings, King Steppengard. My name is Jakarian Ilorius Ioneros of the Royal Court of the Shining City of Kalanis. However, more relevantly, my friends and I are the adventuring party, the Protectors of the Pass, and we are here as envoys of Sequin. I am then... What is the king doing while this is going on? Like, is he looking in our direction?
Relatively, though he's kind of... I guess it's very similar to what the picture looks like, where he's kind of at attention, but also... I don't want to quite say disinterested, but he looks half zoned out.
Yeah, he's tired and like...
Yeah, he's exhausted. He looks like he hasn't slept at all.
He just lost his whole family.
He is clearly not in the perfect state of mind here, but he is reasonably attentive to your speech, yes.
Okay. Well, I'll do my best. I'll say I want to get his attention and try to get eye contact with him. And so I'll say, King Steppengard, Your Highness, I was deeply saddened by the news of your family's untimely passing. So, like, at the beginning of this, as I'm stepping up, like, I'm trying to be very, like, presentery and, like, grand and all that. But, like, when I do this, my tone drops, and I'm like, there's not any, like, presentery to it. I'm trying to be as genuine as possible. And I got something in my throat.
Well, he locks eyes with you at least. He doesn't quite sit forward and like really engage, but he's locked in. He's watching, paying attention.
I was deeply saddened by the news of your family's untimely passing. I myself am from a large family, and I can't imagine the pain, the utter agony that you must have weathered these last days. If even one of my siblings were killed, I don't know what I would do. So, from a position of sympathy, I am profoundly sorry for your loss, my king. Does he react to that in any particular way?
Not that you can notice.
Okay, fair enough. So I'll kind of straighten up and clear my throat and look around and say, as I was saying, we are the protectors of the pass. We escaped our home gate pass as the Regessians began their Scorched Earth campaign on a mission of great importance to the survival of our land. Oh, there's Regessians here.
Yep.
Go on.
You said it. It's out.
Yep, I said it. All right. We traveled through the Anetadar Fire Forest in order to facilitate mission success. We extinguished the flames that have blazed there for decades. We then arrived in Sequin, when the town was devastated by a hurricane summoned through magical means. We uncovered a conspiracy within the depths of Sequin, stopped the incursion, and dispelled the hurricane. While in Sequin, we also facilitated a partnership between a group of raiding goblins and the local government. After eliminating a vile clutch of witches that were capturing and killing innocent passersby, we were able to reopen a vital trade route between Sequin and your fair Dassen. I do not tell you these things for our own fame, but as bona fides. Since we have banded together in Gate Pass, our merry group has solved problems, many of which were deemed impossible to overcome. To put it simply, we are problem solvers of the highest caliber. You are faced with a problem, my king and gathered dignitaries. Civil war bubbles beneath the surface of Dassen, all of it arising in the wake of your family's untimely passing. While our true reason for being here is to establish good relations between your majesty and fair Sequin, we cannot sit idly by while Dassen falls to the chaos of war. And we cannot sit idly by while the deaths of your innocent family go unchecked. Therefore, King Steppengard, we, the protectors of the pass, would like to offer our services to you in the capacity of uncovering those guilty of your family's murder, and thereby alleviating the tensions of war within Dassen. King Steppengard, will you have us? And I finish with a deep bow.
Go ahead and make 3 persuasion checks separately.
Jeepers.
So do one and then the next and then the next, and tell me the result of each of them.
Oh, nice. Just a second. Hold down. So the first one's a 25.
Okay.
Ooh. Second one is a 17.
Okay.
And the third is a 17. So 25, 17, 17.
Okay. As you stop speaking and you start looking around at the results, or maybe you're staring straight at Steppengard, everyone else kind of flicking eyes off to the side to see what's going on. There's a bevy of muttering, or like, I don't know, quite want to say muttering, but there's a bevy of whispered conversations going around the outsides of this room right now. It's hard to make out specifically what anyone is saying, though you are getting a fair number of what look like considering glances and faces as they talk around. Not everyone necessarily is on your side immediately or anything like this, but you've gotten gotten some hooks into some people's brains that they're willing to listen, willing to think about what you've said. Stepping Guard himself leans to the side.
Sorry, anybody of note who thinks that way, or just generalized?
So the proxies that you probably would have expected to react favorably seem to be kind of nodding and listening along, like kind of agreeing with what you're saying. Even the ones who were relatively neutral, with Lady Dan, Lord Is, seem to be considering and thinking hard on what you've been saying. The ones who you would have expected to react hostily, less agreement, less. They seem to not necessarily be taking your arguments as well, but there's at least discussion from all sides. Lady Naman herself, she's still kind of peeved at you a little bit, you can tell, but she's kind of shaking her head. She's considering what he has to say, but she's definitely shaking her head.
What about?
I glance over her doing that, and I'm like, "What's her deal, man?"
King Steppengard leans low. And
what about Glibglab?
And talks to his advisor, Nina Glibglammer. And after a moment, he raises his hand once more for silence. You're welcome.
That's a great gnome name. Halfling name.
If it was a gnome, it would have fit a lot better. Let's be honest with ourselves. And after a moment, Steppengard raises his hand for silence. He says a few things. He says, first, do you realize the problems that you have created for my kingdom by putting out that fire? Now, when Gate Pass falls, there is a clean line, undefended, from Gate Pass, where Regesia will be, into my kingdom. You've compromised our kingdom.
She got help.
So, thank you for that. But that is not all. You also mentioned us being on the verge of civil war. Are you threatening me?
Of course not.
Seeing as we are not part of your kingdom, how would we be part of a civil war?
You seem to be bringing up dangerous propositions.
We're here to help, not to cause problems.
And we also bring an outside perspective, as we are not part of this kingdom. The tension that I mentioned is certainly felt by many.
Sorry.
The tension that I mention is certainly felt by at least some in this court, if not many. I do my best to be an honest person and call them as I see them. Jack wouldn't have said that. That's all I could think of.
Also, my liege, how are you open to attack if you're currently in a ceasefire with Regesia? Why is that a worry?
It's a future concern, that's all. You've opened up a new avenue for potential danger.
So you're saying you would rather that the fire was still going on? The hundreds of Sela would be burning?
First of all,
you would prefer that?
That's not something he even knows about.
What word you say?
Nobody knew about that.
She's got a demon.
Saying that you've caused problems in the things that you state as your calling cards. Now, you, and he points at Rayland, says, you don't have the silver honeyed tongue of your companion. Tell me plainly, how many friends have you lost in this war? How many family?
I'm pale. Look around.
I thought that was your answer.
I'm pale.
I'm describing myself as I think of something to say. my brother. He's been taken. Not by Regesia themselves, but... excuse me. I drank too much last night. Yeah. And... not by Regesia, but by someone who's working for Regesia.
He scoffs. I have lost 19. My wife, my children. I would gladly have lost my own life instead.
You can't compare
Gladly.
tragedy.
I have suffered enough for my entire country. No others shall lose their families in a fight that is not ours. If you are my subjects...
Does he mean
you wish to
this?
speak more?
No, this is me. Does he mean this, or is he putting on a show?
You can make an insight check if you'd like.
Really good. 21.
He seems genuinely incensed.
Okay.
Says, if you are my subjects... And he kind of trails off for a moment. Says, but you're not. Then he stands and scans the crowd. Says, none shall offer aid to this nest of serpents, these mages of Sequin and their allies. And he looks back down towards you, glancing briefly to the Regesian envoy on the side. Says, to you, 6. I give you 3 days in my city. Perhaps in that time you can use some of your poet's tongue to persuade the Regesians to show you mercy. I truly hope none of you will feel the same loss that I have. But by leaping to war, you are calling such a wound down upon your house, upon your kin, upon yourselves.
At the end of 3 days, Regesia is going to be asking me for mercy.
Was he saying get out in 3 days? To the Regesians?
To you.
No, us.
Oh, great, cool.
And he sits again and says, who next wishes to address their king? Rayland kind of steps forward towards you guys and says, we should probably regroup.
I think.
One thing real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, of course, one thing quick. I have something in a bag that I would like to present to the Regesians, if that pleases the king. I mean no harm. I am terrible with violence, and usually am okay at talking, but maybe today is not my day.
Well, he is terrible at violence, that's for sure.
You have 30 seconds. This had better be worth it.
I just pull out the bear skull mask and I toss it to him and I say, that belonged to Damius. As he was torturing innocent people beneath Sequin, I thought I should return it to the owners.
They catch it, like the Inquisitor catches it in his hand, he looks at it. Cute.
Thank you.
You're next, big guy.
As you start getting ushered away, both by Balin and by the stewards of the court, you get kind of ushered to the side. If you'd like to hang around, you can. But you will be hanging around kind of in the side in the low light, so to speak.
I'm going to find a seat. You
alright, Rayland?
I feel like
You
shit.
don't look well.
If we go over to a wall or something, I'll be like, I thought I did okay.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. I forgot. While we were in there, when Like, he consulted with Glib Glamour before speaking to us. Did I see anything magical happen?
No additional flares or anything like that.
You did find Jack.
I think...
No, Jack, that was, like, amazing. It was not you.
I think it was a
Thanks.
situation that whatever we said, the answer would be no.
How are we to know that Anetata would set off that chain of events?
Oh, well,
Don't
of
do
course he doesn't mean that. Obviously, Gate Pass is a great pass-through for both Regesia and for Shahalesti for trade to Dassen. So, I mean...
Trade or war, Jack?
I'm sure
Well...
that I'm sure that he would have found something to get busy about.
Yeah, I don't think it was... it was a lose-lose situation, whatever we said.
Did anyone get a look at Nina when the king was going off like that? Was she, like, on his side, or was she listening to us? What?
Bryn just asked, I thought.
No, she asked about magical aura.
Like, if she cast something on him while...
Yeah. Essentially,
Then
I'm
she should've-
asking, like, was Nina, like, smiling and nodding as the king was going off? Was she, like, geez, chill out, bro? Like...
She's pretty unreadable, to be honest. Pretty straight face. She certainly didn't look like she was unhappy or disagreeing.
Okay.
He whispered something to her, though, before he started speaking to us, did he not?
They talked back and forth a little bit. There's a little bit of discussion, yes.
Okay.
He was like,
as you
I'm
guys
gonna
are-
go off on this bitch. And she's like, I don't think you should. He's like, I'm totally gonna.
As you guys are having this conversation on the side a little bit, Stepping Guard has moved on to listening to more mundane requests. But you
Far
do
more
notice that
mundane.
there's a couple of guards who are kind of keeping their eyes on you guys, not so much to like cordon you or anything, but just to keep you away from the throne or away from the spotlight at this point in time. While you're kind of talking amongst yourselves, a couple of people come up to discuss with you, kind of dribbling over here and there. The first one that stops by, Jack, you would know, Aramak Dashkaban swings by. And he says, he basically encourages you to stay in Bresk for a little bit. And as he's starting to talk to you, another man stops by. You don't recognize him, but he introduces himself as Everett Crow. And he introduced himself as the proxy to Lady Timor. And I'll put that in the chat for you.
He's the one who lives in the mountains, right?
The northeast side, but yeah. And they both kind of talk with you a little bit, and they both encourage you guys to stay around in Bresk for a little bit.
For 3 days.
Just to see if the king might reconsider his position after a little bit of time. They also kind of give a quick suggestion that if you were to leave, it might not be a bad idea to head north to talk to Duke Gallo. As they intimate to you, they don't believe the claims about him, especially after your discussions today, and suspect that he might be able to convince some other nobles into supporting Sequin and your claims. Because, as they say, the Charter of the Council of Nine states that the king is not in absolute power. If 6 nobles disagree with the king, their decision stands, as the king has 3 votes himself. It is not an absolute monarchy, but a relative republic.
That's good to know.
We will contact our respective lord and lady, offer what support we can, but not willing to speak out against the king just at this moment, as I'm sure you can understand.
Yes, he seems quite incensed in general. Understandably, though.
He's had a difficult week, one could say. But, and then they kind
Strange
of
that he
excuse
wouldn't...
them.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Feel free.
Strange that he wouldn't accept help in investigating who murdered his family.
If he has help, is the way that he would see that. You're just a random group of outsiders who, for all he knows, has connections to the murder instead of to the solving of it.
Or not, but...
But at this, they kind of excuse themselves and move back into their positions amongst court once more. The last person who kind of swings by to talk to you, Rayland, you'd recognize much more intimately as a dashing halfling, well-dressed in opulent-looking, shimmering purple silks, steps towards you and kind of gives a knowing smile towards Rayland at first, but then moves quickly over towards the others in the party. Kind of gives a brief introduction to Jack. Says, "Great to see you, wonderful, of course." Then moves over to Bryn and takes her hand in his and kisses her knuckles a little bit, giving a flourish and a bow, and says, "It's wonderful to have your presence here amongst unchivalrous." Does the similar sort of bow and attention towards Winry and to Myetharia. And anyone who's really paying close attention, both to the cameras and also to Rayland, can see this sneer, this look of general disgust that appears across his face. And as he makes his way over to Rayland last, he says, "Well, cousin, I must say, the words of your compatriots are compelling. More so than I would have considered initially. I may be able to reduce my requests. Maybe just the latter, not the former."
Also, when he does that, uncontrolled Bryn blushes and looks taken aback.
Bryn, stop.
What?
He looks like Rayland if Rayland was
Fancy.
properly manicured and
Didn't have a mullet.
If he was
Hair
clean
down,
and
nice.
Pompadour instead of a mullet.
yeah, if he was fully cleaned up, well groomed, all stylized. He's got the very fancy looking beard, mustache, very well trimmed and perfectly manicured.
It's at this moment. It's at this moment that
teeth
Myetharia. Yeah. It's at this moment that Myetharia realizes that she likes Rayland just the way he is.
Rayland, what is he talking about?
No need to get into the specifics. We just talked before. No worries.
Just to get it right, because I mess up former and latter sometimes. I'll tag you on the side. Yeah.
He wants you to still debase yourself.
Yeah, is that correct?
Grovel. Yes,
and grovel.
To grovel, but he'd take off the other request.
Give him the name.
If you look closely, you can see that there's a little bit of a twinkle in his eye as though he's fucking with you right now. Though in which direction he's fucking with you, up to your opinion.
I'm not even looking at him at this point. I'm staring at the ground, just trying not to hurl.
I haven't really thought about it before this, but I don't know how much Jack has put together, the theories that we have about Rayland. So out of curiosity, do they look like the spitting image of each other, or do they look like cousins where you can see the family resemblance? Is it shocking? Is it like Parent Trap?
It's not to that level, no. But I think the biggest reason that it's not is because this man is incredibly cleaned up, as opposed to Rayland, who is intentionally not. I think is a good way of phrasing that.
Okay. All right,
they look very similar. You can definitely tell that they're related, if that was what you're looking for.
Gotcha.
Definitely not spitting image, but very similar looking. Eerily so.
I'll briefly say, Rayland, you seem to have family everywhere.
I'm a hobbit. What do you expect?
Hobbit?
Oh.
Hot?
I thought you said
Hobbit. You did that in the last episode, too.
I'm a halfling. What do you expect? Still kind of
Well,
staring at the
it's,
ground, trying not to hurl.
Very good to meet you, sir, cousin of Rayland. Very warm greetings. My name is Jack. Your name is?
Rexington. Rexington Royal.
Rexington, you're very fancy.
Debonair, thank you. I appreciate that. Especially coming from one as fine and well-groomed yourself.
Oh, thanks.
There's a very smarmy smile on.
I like
Our
those guys so
worst.
far.
So you're saying you might help us?
I don't know how much I'd be able to help, but at the very least, if word came around that I could do something, then I would at least consider it. Especially if it came with such news as I am, or such words as I am looking for.
Hey,
Of course.
yeah. That's what I thought.
As much as I would appreciate the company of your companions, he kind of gives a nod and a glance around to each of you, including Jack on the way past. He says, it would be much more meaningful if it came from you.
Well, Rayland, if all he wants is for you to spend some time with him, I don't think that's too big of an ask.
No. He wants me to beg. Right here.
What are you begging for?
Think on it, would you? Don't worry about it. In the meantime, he gives each of you once more a look and a smile and a nod and says, I'm sure we'll be seeing each other once more. Adieu. And he steps back off into the crowd.
Rayland, who was that? My
Ugh.
goodness.
Makes it hard. He makes it hard not to like him.
Oh yeah, I didn't like him at all either.
I mean, he said I was well groomed, and that's definitely true. It just feels nice sometimes.
I mean, he was
Don't worry,
polite,
just-
but just I don't like how he treated you, Rayland.
Why would he make you beg? What are you begging for?
Just old beefs. If we're gonna get his help. He wants me
Well-
to, I don't know.
Yeah, that's entirely up to you.
Debase myself is the word he used. I don't know what that even means. Make
You
myself
shouldn't do
look-
something you're not comfortable with, even if it helps us.
Of course.
Or, if it comes down to one lord or lady, I guess just think of how we can help you. If it comes down to needing one more lord or lady, we might need to ask him for help, and we can help you. Help us. Doesn't have to be all on you, is what I'm saying.
I think I could use some help getting over this hangover. Ugh.
Bryn, can you, do something to him?
I don't think I prepared restoration, which is not for hangovers.
That's okay. I'm just
spare
gonna
the dying.
Gentle repose.
I'm just gonna close my eyes for a moment.
Well, as Rayland closes his eyes and gathers himself, you have one last visitor who walks up to discuss, I guess we'll use that word, with you, as the Regessian ambassador and the Inquisitor walk towards you. A couple of people who are kind of nearby you quickly kind of shimmy out of the way a little bit further, give you a little bit of, wide berth as they come towards you. The
I'm not
ambassador
doing it
himself-
presentery, but as a reflex, kind of opening up my cloak so I can get to my wand if I need to.
The diplomat himself, the ambassador, is, while he's well dressed, he has almost a militaristic feel, like a very rigid, very unyielding persona. And the Inquisitor himself looks like he is almost flaunting in the other direction his apparent savagery, as he wears very little but furs and leather straps, as he stands amongst the nobles, looking very out of place. As he comes over, the man, the ambassador, speaks first. He says, "Well, that went wonderfully. Tell your other slime down there to the south that soon they will be licking the boot."
Well, I guess the boot will be nice and clean after Steppengard and those in this court give it a good licking.
Some know their place. Some are yet to learn it.
Speak for yourself.
Boom!
Nailed it.
Wow, Ryan.
Rayland's
I
out.
wish you could have said that. I wish you
I'm
could have
out.
said that out loud.
If I was awake, I would have.
Yeah, she drops that, and you hear.
Somehow the teddy bear appeared.
The what?
The teddy bear.
Yeah, right. Listen. You still have a chance. You can surrender. You can gain exile instead of death.
Do you
We
admit
offered the
that-
same. Oh, go ahead.
Do you admit that your conquest is not simply sequin?
Did not admit that. Admitted nothing of the kind. Merely stated that Dassen knew its rightful place. Below Regesia, and allowing us to do what we must.
Now they know better for you now that they know that an editor is put out. You know better how to handle you.
Oh, really? What does that mean?
I wouldn't be so sure that your peace talks will quite work out the way you thought they would when you woke up this morning.
If you say so. Whatever helps you feel better about your appearance here. He looks over, as he says appearance, he looks over at Rayland, who is in the chair on the side. Says, very professional. Couldn't even show up sober to the
Hey,
most important meeting of your
Don't tell me you have never needed a little rest every now and again.
Of course. Excuse me. Far be it from me to think that you, filth from the swamps, would have any level of respectability and dignity.
Well, you must take it easy on Rayland. He still has a crick in his arm from when we destroyed 20 of your orc soldiers beneath Sequin right before finishing off the guy who owned that one. Oh, and by the way, I'll reach in my bag and I'll grab another one of the bear masks, and I'll toss it to the Inquisitor and say, I don't even remember what his name was, but he is also dead.
Oh, that one
kind
wasn't
of-
even difficult.
He grabs it with his clawed right hand, kind of sneering beneath his own rune-etched skull mask. Fools, lessers. They made their mistakes and they paid for it.
Their
I love
mistake. Go ahead.
I love the loyalty you show to yours. I'm sure Dassen will experience that loyalty quite soon enough.
Gate Pass will stand, and so will Dassen. No matter how many hooks you have into it, we'll find him.
Gate Pass will always stand.
I wish you luck. I'm sure General Daniver is marching his way through as we speak.
That means nothing to me.
Because I don't
My
know who
words-
that is.
I do not say that. My words stand.
At that,
What was your
You-
name, sir?
Ceramus. Remember it well.
And what about your bodyguard behind you there?
Thorax.
No. I'll add him to
Hopefully
the
Torax will
list.
remember your name
Hold
when
on.
we toss your mask to someone else.
He snarls as you say it.
I'll write his name down so that we don't forget when we toss it off to the next person. I don't say that. Becca says that.
As they kind of move on again, having completed their taunting mission, Balin will bore a little bit of standing around and say, well, maybe it's time we leave. Head back to the inn, come up with a new plan. What say you?
I think that would be best, seeing how Rayland's about to hurl up his breakfast.
Rayland, you can sober up whenever you want after we leave the throne room.
I don't feel like we have any direction, though. What do we do?
I think
guess
that's what we can talk about in the inn. Better than here.
Yes. Too many prying ears.
Well, for diplomacy to work, both parties need to at least come to the table interested in finding a solution. So I don't see this as a failure. I see this as he didn't come to the table.
I see this as an absolute win.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I don't. No. I'm sure we'll see some positivity come out of this yet. My words,
All right.
my words stand true. This is after we left.
As you're leaving,
Okay.
as you start departing,
wait,
you notice
before we jump topics, the Inquisitors one more time was Toriax?
Torax. I put it in chat.
Oh, I thought that was the dude's first and last name.
Yeah, I know. I
With
should have put
slash.
an and between
Like
them.
borax, but with an extra R.
Okay.
I mean, fair, I guess. As you guys start to leave, you all can notice that Nina Glibglammer is watching you all intently, ignoring the ongoings of the court before her, and watching you all as you leave.
I'll wave to her.
Can I get one last look at Lady Naman?
Sure, she is as I described her. She is dressed in all black as a mourning, and she is interested and invested in the ongoings of the court. So with that, you head back to the inn to regroup and discuss what your next steps will be.
Well, my words hold true. My words hold true. I have hope that the king will rethink his peace talks with Regacia. Now that he knows that Anetadar is put out.
He knew Anetadar was put out before we got here.
Did he?
Because he said that... How he
Seems
said
Yeah.
it, he didn't...
He had considered the strategic importance of the fire being put out, so I'm sure he knew that it was out at this point.
For record, it's been almost 2 months since that
Okay.
happened.
That's
Yeah.
true.
News has gotten around.
kind of a big thing.
Alright.
So this is later this afternoon.
Yeah.
So I think...
I can stop pretending to be drunk now.
Yes. Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know. I think what Mr. Crow and
Aramak.
Aramak, yep, I just wrote Dashkaban's proxy. Aramak said about staying around to see if he changes his mind. Maybe one or two of us can go to court to listen to other things that go on, and then head north, like Mr. Crow said, to speak with Gallo. That seems...
Can I get a rundown quick? We have, as far as nobles on our side, it's Gallo, Ashkaban,
Lady Timor, and
Lady Timor, and Lady Den are, what do you call, on the fence, or
Well, we've
Is
got
and Den
Lady.
are a little
Is was on the fence.
fence. A little bit
Oh,
more.
where did we get Is from?
Is was just
Those are-
Iz's proxy was watching was kind of
Oh,
neutral.
Nodding along.
and then we only have Lady Den if, depending on what we can give your cousin,
So that's
potentially.
so Naaman and Is are on the fence.
I'd
no,
like to get
just Is and Den.
I'd like to get Naaman on our side, but I doubt that she'll see reason.
We only have 4 then. We need another 2.
Yes.
Well, I doubt we'll get Megadon on our side.
No, don't even try that. Why did they say Gala would
and
have
where
would
is-
stand the most to win out of, the most to get out of Steppengard's assassination? Why were they saying that he would get the most out of it?
I don't know.
Who?
Gallo.
Hello. Nina said while she was interrogating that poor man that Gallo stood the most to win from the assassinations and from Steppengard's assassination.
Oh, I understood that as she was just trying different things to see if his response changed, to see if he was being consistent.
Perhaps.
Also, I think it was an attempt to, like, she said something about these poor Regasians are being smeared or something. Like,
It's clearly
Yeah.
an attempt to frame Regesia. It's one of her
Yeah.
statements, I think, that you're going for.
so Gallo is a known anti-Regasian guy. So
Yes, that's right.
um,
About
So
that.
he has the most to gain because if he's king, then he can nix the anti.
or rather, he needs an army to defend his lands. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steppengard is.
one of her. Sorry.
You can go ahead.
Go ahead, Justin.
One of her other statements was Gallo must have his war, was the
Yeah.
other part of it.
Yeah, Gallo needs his war. So let me do the rundown again, just quick, because so Gallo, Dashkaban are most likely on our side. Den is leaning our way. Is leaning our way. Or was it Timor maybe leaning our way?
Timur,
No, we have
okay, here.
Timor.
We have
Timur,
Timor.
Gallo, and Dashkaban are considered to be helpful or like
Okay.
friendly, whatever you're gonna say.
Yeah,
Den-
Den.
And Is are more on the fence, but leaning in your direction, certainly.
And
then
Ragu and Naaman.
Megadon, Rego, and Nemen are less interested currently. Yes.
Okay.
And then the king, of
Has
course.
anybody talked to Rego's proxy yet?
Nope.
So someone should probably work on that one.
No, he doesn't
so
like
we
the refugees going through his lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His land is the poorest. He's just making.
He's the one that we had to pay.
Pay to home. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we had
think
to
we
pay to
need
get
to-
those people out.
I think we need to take a multi-pronged approach to this one. Jack, you, Bryn, and Myetharia need to maybe talk to Rego's proxy, Iz's proxy, see what else you can do. I, and maybe Winry, if you're up for it, we gotta find out what's up with that halfling, Glimmer Glamour. I don't know what that looks like yet. We can tailor, maybe break in to her quarters, figure that out as we go along.
That sounds fun.
I would just be careful with that. We don't need to smear our names any more than we already
For
have.
yes.
What if we just continue to investigate the murders without
That's-
his blessing?
That's my
Oh, if we-
intention.
Be able to get anything of substance without being welcome.
I would also warn against separating. They've already warned us that we're not welcome here. I'm not sure what that
could
what that
also-
looks like.
Someone's gonna
Don't
pick
know.
us off.
Don't know.
No. Not while we're in the city. and not while we're doing certain activities, I think, that are...
I don't know. They don't know. They only have Nina's word to go off of.
Someone needs to talk to Gallows Proxy as well. So I could probably sneak past the guards there if we need to do that. If you're willing to let me do that.
I might join you for that.
We know about mind control from Kristen in how to break that, correct? No?
It depends on the mind control. For her,
because if we break it, then we can find out who did it.
Potentially.
But that would require, to break it would require us to get close to the king, which we are not in his good graces.
Well, I, as much as I try to be honest and upfront, I am a decently accomplished not truth teller.
You are good at lying, yes.
Maybe I could. Well, hey, none of you guys knew that I was wealthy until we got to Sequin. Until someone blew my cover.
No, you let it out of the bag on the ship.
You did. You literally said, yeah.
Wasn't me. Do not blame this on me.
You were talking about court.
No. You remember it wrong. That was after the fact. Regardless,
oh, we have our objectives. I think let's figure out who's going to tackle which objective at what time.
I think our first objective is getting some dinner. I'm quite hungry. Then I'd like to step down and grab it.
I'll join you.
I like this guy.
Yeah, I could go.
That's priorities in order.
So, Myetharia, you're to come with?
Yeah, I'll go too.
Okay. Well, he'll just send the two of you downstairs to the common room to pick up dinner for everybody. As you're down there, a tall, gangly man approaches you, and he looks nervously over his shoulder before he leans over and whispers, "You must leave. You're in danger." You recognize him. From the audience with the king, actually. And he has an instrument strapped to his back, though you know that there wasn't any music there. He just was there. Presumably some sort of minstrel, though he wasn't playing at the time.
Who?
What's your name?
Hornburg. You must escape while you can.
Who is after us?
I can't be seen with you. They'll try to kill me if they see me.
Who?
Let's move on for now. I'll grab whatever food we're gonna get. If Myetharia wants to stick around, that's fine, but I mean...
I'll linger.
Yeah, as you linger, make a insight check.
What did you say his name was one more time?
Hornburg.
Okay, baby, don't fail me.
Yes.
Okay. Hang on. Hold it. 19.
Okay.
Good roll.
Rolled a 15.
As Rayland is walking away, he quickly says, he's insane. He's sworn out an arrest warrant for you, which amounts to execution in these times. Your only chance is to flee north, to Gallo. If you leave tonight, I'll have someone waiting at the north gate to let you out.
Thank you.
With a 19, you can tell that the man is a little too fervent in his story, and you can start to glean what appears to be a hint of enchantment upon him.
Would you...
You can make an Arcana check if you'd like to try to identify it.
Do I know if dealing damage to him will snap him out of this?
You can make an Arcana check if you want to try to identify it.
I have 0 on Arcana, but I rolled an 18.
Holy cow! You're rolling great for once. We just need you to. We just need you to not be attacking anybody.
It's treating me nice tonight.
Unfortunately, you don't.
20.
Balance is not the balance is not the
You
action.
can't identify the spell itself to know for sure. But you do
Trip
know
him
it's
enough
enchantment.
so he falls on his face. 1 hit point.
As you sit there considering actions or ideas, he starts to leave. Time for
Can I
you to
trip him?
go.
I trip him.
Make an attack roll.
Oh, I hate this so much.
Just make a dexterity check.
Pulling from past memories of damage, snapping people out of magical enchantments, Myetharia is doing this. Regardless of, I have an idea that it probably won't work, but okay, dexterity. I should have that memorized by now. 20 flat.
Okay. You stick out a foot quickly, and you catch one of his feet as he turns to leave. And as he does so, he
I'm so
full-on
sorry.
trips,
I'm so clumsy.
smashes his face down onto the ground,
Oh,
like hitting one of
let
the
me
bar
help you.
stools on his way
Goodness.
down. Got a little bit of blood, and everyone starts looking around at him.
Grabs out a handkerchief,
seems-
starts dabbing his nose.
He starts to notice the attention. As he does so, he looks nervous. He looks scared. He says, and he notices you, and he kind of recognition clicks for just a brief moment. You can see that look of, oh crap, on his face. He's like, no. And he just bolts. He just takes off.
Can I follow him? Secretly, stealthily.
You could try to, sure.
She
Go ahead
follows
and-
him. I'm going with.
You went
I'm
downstairs
going down to
already,
meet.
didn't you?
No, I was going to get the food. I mean, you're having a conversation while I go.
Yeah, I was imagining you guys were like at the bar waiting for the meal when this happens.
or they're like,
Rayland are up there like, we gonna get some food.
I mean, I'm gonna be the commotion. I imagine my back is to like them because I'm at the bar and like
Right.
she tripped him, so I'm gonna look like what, and then see her going after him, and be like, oh shit, like put down the meal.
Absolutely. Both of you make 2 checks. First, make an athletics check to try to keep up with him, as he is near run at this point.
All right. Am I normal now?
Athletics.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna kick off this.
Am I
Wait,
not
what's
drunk?
my... Oh, shoot. Oh, I have a...
You both should have terrible athletics.
Yeah, we do. I have a -1 on it, so 14.
20.
That's not bad. Oh, wow.
bad.
Very nice.
20?
The two of you, with effort, or not, actually, to be honest, not even with that much effort, you're able to keep up with the man as he's running through the streets. It's starting to get dark, but you're able to keep pace and able to keep your eyes on him as he's going. Go ahead and make a stealth check, each of you as well.
Okay, baby.
Are we getting concerned about our food yet?
Holy minute.
Probably not quite yet, but
Okay.
soon.
Rayland is probably drinking at the bar again.
I mean, Myetharia is with him, so yeah.
They do like
Yeah,
to
they're
drink a lot
probably-
together.
Wait. My
6.
stealth is higher than that. Hang on. I have my... I have a +7 to that, I forgot. Sorry. 9.
Okay. And I saw Rayland with a 26.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Myetharia can't see Rayland.
Every now and then he glances over his shoulder and he continues his pace, but he keeps going. It doesn't seem like he's carrying that much, even if he noticed you or not. You're not sure. But one way or the other, he keeps going. As you pursue him and follow him, you find out that he returns to the castle, and when he does so, he walks straight up to the front guards and holds out his hands and says, "Take me to the dungeons."
No.
And the guards slap his wrists and manacles and pull him inside, and he disappears into the castle.
Cool. Nice to meet that guy.
About this point is when you all upstairs think, where's our food? What is taking them so long? As it's about a 5-minute run throughout the city for you guys trying to chase this man down.
I will lazily send a message to Rayland. Are you guys okay?
When we realize
Do
they
you need
aren't,
help?
when we realize they aren't there, I'm gonna head downstairs with Puck and start looking around for them.
I'm gonna look
You
around
see-
for Rayland.
I'll make my presence.
You can't find him.
Yeah, I'll step out
He's
from
high.
behind. I'll step out from behind a barrel, nearby. It's like a. That was weird, huh?
That did not go well. Did you see who
Did he
turned
just
himself
kind of
in?
fall down? What happened?
I tripped him. Sorry. I was hoping.
Oh, okay.
I could tell he was under
I
some
don't
sort of
care.
spell. I could tell he was under some sort of spell, and I was hoping. Past experience have said that injury has snapped people out of it. I must have miscalculated. Well, this must not be some sort of. Anyways, he turned himself in.
Why do you think he? Yeah, why do you think he turned himself in? Because of us?
I don't know.
I guess we'll have to find out, huh? Well, let's go back to bring the food to the crew, huh?
Yes, the
I'm a
food.
little hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Back as you make it down into the common room, there's steaming plates covered on the bar top that seemingly were waiting for you guys to pick up.
Ooh, is it?
Sorry,
What
I
is
don't
it?
know where
Dumplings?
it's at.
Is it dumplings? I kind of want.
Sure, it
dumplings.
can be dumplings.
I
Why
really
not?
want. Yeah, dumplings. Man. Some pork, pork and chive. Yes.
It's a bar. It's like potato skins or something.
No, it's really fancy
gonna-
dumplings. This is a nice place.
Nice.
Oh,
They have
you're
like
right. You're right.
they have like nice soup
Yeah,
dumplings
high class.
Dave,
in the
Like,
little bamboo baskets.
French fries and truffle oil or
delicious.
something.
yeah,
I want to run over to the bartender and be like, there was a halfling and an elf that were down here a moment ago. Did you see what happened to them? Like frantic.
They walked out. I heard they left. Some man was here. He made quite a scene and ran off.
Okay,
And as you
thank you.
basically make your way out to the door to look for them, Myetharia and Rayland come strolling back to the front of the establishment.
I apologize. Let's go in and talk for a moment upstairs.
I'm so hungry. Where are they, Bryn?
No, this is ridiculous. He didn't even respond to my message.
Sorry, I didn't get a chance to respond to the message. I would have.
You're far enough away that it.
Would you like
when
me
she
to?
sent it,
It's
we were
sending,
far.
sorry.
Oh, sending.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I'll-
went full sending?
That's all that
Really
I don't have
concerned about her
message.
food.
I didn't know. I didn't know that you actually. I'm sorry. I would have responded.
If you guys did it, and I would just take this spell slot back, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, just take that spell slot back. Since narratively, it's not gonna.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
I'm gonna say
I'm so hungry, I don't even know if I said the spell right.
as they walk up. Yeah. Did something wrong because you got the hunger shakes or something. My blood sugar's too low. As
should be a thing.
they come walking up, I'll say, "Are you both okay?" But I'm more asking Myetharia rather than Rayland.
Oh yes, we're quite all right. Why don't we get the food and go upstairs and eat our lunch?
Dinner.
No, sorry, it's been a day.
Breakfast.
It's been a long day.
You know,
I kind of
What
just,
about
I'll
11s?
just,
get off my
I
dick.
just kind of give him a look of like, we'll talk.
Okay. Go upstairs with the fancy food.
Okay.
Fancy
And
feast.
then tell them about
That's what Winry wants.
Hornbrand.
From Brand.
I can't read my own
And
writing.
Winry wants to eat fancy feast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So rude.
Oh my gosh, no.
I thought Steph was the only one who heard it.
Oh, Cassie.
Teensy bit racist.
Dumplings with fancy beast in it instead of pork.
Sprinkled in.
You
Why
don't
are you
eat
saying
that.
Because I don't have any reason to be suspicious, but
I don't either.
Bryn doesn't have any reason to be suspicious, but Stephanie is.
So we get back up to the
Anything else?
room with the food and we say, "What happened?"
Do any of us know someone by the name Hornbrand?
Mm-mm.
Rayland and I were just approached downstairs by somebody trying to remain inconspicuous, saying that there was a warrant out for us. and we were to leave the city tonight, and there would be a gate left open for us. But he wouldn't give us any other details. I could tell he was under some sort of mind control spell. So I might have tripped him on his way out, hoping that
Was he already downstairs when you guys got down there?
Was he there when we got downstairs, or did he come in while we were getting the plates?
Didn't notice.
I'm not sure, Bryn.
Should we check our food somehow?
For what?
I don't know.
It seemed like they
Stephengard's
wanted
entire
us
family
to-
was poisoned.
It seemed like, perhaps, but it seemed like he wanted us to go out the gate tonight, like as though there was a trap ready for us tonight.
Yes, it sounds
That's
less
something
like
like-
they're planning on poisoning, and more sounds like they're planning on stabbing us a bunch as soon as we go there.
That's the thought. It'd be more obvious if all of our bodies just turned up poisoned, and far more helpful for the king to make up his mind if the people who are advocating for him to go make a move against Regizia all turned up dead. If we all turned up dead, then that would be an obvious sign for the king to know what his next move would be.
Who did he say again was waiting for us at the North Gate?
He didn't say a name. He just said he'll have someone waiting.
We'll have someone waiting. Because I kept asking for a name. That's what it was. He wouldn't give me one. So, we followed him.
Seems like someone is trying to kill us.
Already, that
Yes,
was
we
quick.
followed him, and we followed him back to the castle where he gave himself in to the gods. We don't know. Was it obvious I broke the spell, Justin, or no?
Don't know.
I think someone would only turn themselves in if they were more afraid of whoever mind controlled them. Whoever's in charge.
Either that or they were mind controlled into that's the last thing they do, is turn themselves in.
Well, it sounds like we've got 2 people to visit in the dungeons now. So, Rayland, I'll cast invisibility on you, and then I'm going to turn myself into a mouse and jump in your pocket, and then we'll just go.
Question. What if they have disenchantment areas
I have more spell slots.
around? No, darling, you don't understand what I'm saying. What if, when you go there, you turn back into your normal selves like Rayland did with the hat? What if there's something there that keeps you from being able to cast spells on yourself?
I'll keep an eye out for traps.
Well,
If it's magic, then it's probably not a trap you'll be able to see.
I will be able to
So-
see it.
I've been
Alright,
pretty
you
good at
do
finding
this.
arcane traps
I
before.
think going to
I think
the
Raylan and
place
I got
that
this.
the king wants us to go to is probably not
The
the
last
best
thing you'll
idea.
expect. Let's go to jail, guys.
Well, I was going to say, I thought she was suggesting, and this was going to be my suggestion too, perhaps we go to the North Gate and spring the trap.
Not a bad idea.
Trap the trap?
Trap the trap.
But then what if they trap us? That we were trying to trap the trap, but then got trapped.
Oh man.
Hmm.
It's not a bad idea,
Well-
but it's
Be
also
a bad
not
day.
a good idea. I'm just gonna say that.
With a couple of paths to consider and some time to make this decision, I think that is where we will end tonight's session.